Everyone assumes the dinosaurs all lived together. One world, one timeline. T-Rex, Stegosaurus, and every other prehistoric monster sharing the same swamps and forests. That is not what happened. Tyrannosaurus Rex did not even exist yet when something far stranger was already ruling the water, a predator the size of a school bus, teeth the size of bananas, a bite force that may have rivaled T-Rex itself. And in December 2025, scientists unveiled the first fully accurate skeleton of it ever built. Its name is Deinosuchus, and it was hunting dinosaurs millions of years before T-Rex ever walked the earth. The name Deinosuchus comes from two Greek words, Deinos, meaning terrible, and suchos, meaning crocodile. Terrible crocodile. The first fossils were found in 1858, but the genus itself was not formally named until 1909. Fragmentary remains that took decades to fully understand. It lived between approximately 82 and 73 million years ago, a stretch of time scientists call the Campanian stage of the late Cretaceous. For context, Tyrannosaurus Rex did not appear until roughly 68 to 66 million years ago. There is a gap of at least 5 million years between them. Deinosuchus was already extinct before T-Rex was born, but it was not extinct before T-Rex's own relatives existed. Deinosuchus shared its world with early tyrannosaurids, including Albertosaurus and a species called Appalachiosaurus, close relatives within the same family that would eventually include T-Rex itself. Fossil evidence shows the attack left heel bite wounds on at least one specimen, meaning the tyrannosaur survived. But the attack itself is preserved in bone. It hunted the family that would one day become the most famous predator in history. In December 2025, paleontologist David Schwimmer, who has spent more than 40 years searching for Deinosuchus fossils across Alabama, Georgia, and Texas, unveiled the first scientifically accurate, fully mounted skeleton replica of Dinosuchus schwimmeri ever built. The species was formally named after him in 2020, in honor of his decades of research. The team used high-resolution 3D scans of actual fossil specimens to reconstruct the skeleton down to the smallest detail, including the bony armored plates that covered its back. This is not a movie prop. This is the most scientifically precise reconstruction of this animal that has ever existed. So, what made Deinosuchus so dangerous? It grew up to 31 feet long. That is nearly the length of a school bus, and significantly larger than any crocodile alive today. Its teeth were thick, robust, and roughly the size of bananas, built not just for puncturing flesh, but for crushing bone. Researchers estimate its bite force may have exceeded 18,000 newtons, among the strongest of any land predator ever measured, rivaling some estimates of Tyrannosaurus Rex itself. It hunted the way modern crocodiles do, lying in wait at the water's edge, lunging when prey came to drink, dragging its victim underwater and performing a death roll, twisting its entire body until the prey was torn apart. Fossilized dinosaur bones bearing Deinosuchus tooth marks have been found across multiple states, including bite marks on hadrosaurs, the duck-billed dinosaurs of the era, and on the bones of theropods, the same family that includes T-Rex. Nothing in its ecosystem was safe near the water. For more than a century, Deinosuchus was classified as a close relative of modern alligators, sometimes nicknamed the greater alligator. In April 2025, that assumption collapsed. A team at the University of Tübingen, publishing in the journal Communications Biology, analyzed DNA and fossils from 128 living and extinct crocodilians. Their findings were unexpected. Deinosuchus did not belong with the alligators at all. It occupied a completely separate branch of the family tree, one that had split off before the ancestors of modern alligators, crocodiles, and caimans even diverged from each other. What the new research finally revealed was a single biological feature that helped explain a puzzle nobody could solve. Salt glands. Modern alligators do not have them. Modern crocodiles do. And Deinosuchus, the research concluded, likely retained them, meaning it could tolerate salt water in a way true alligators never could. That single trait explained something that had puzzled paleontologists for decades. Deinosuchus fossils had been found on both sides of an ancient inland sea called the Western Interior Seaway, a body of water that once split North America in half, stretching more than 620 miles across. If Deinosuchus were truly an alligator, crossing that seaway should have been impossible. It was not an impossibility. It was an adaptation nobody had accounted for. Here is what that discovery really means. For more than a century, museums, documentaries, and textbooks described Deinosuchus incorrectly, placing it in the wrong branch of its own family tree, simply because nobody had run the broader analysis needed to see where it truly belonged. It took 128 species worth of DNA and fossil data, and a research team willing to question more than 100 years of consensus to finally place this animal where it actually belongs. And in December 2025, using fossils gathered over 40 years by a single dedicated researcher, the public finally got to see what this animal actually looked like, built with the same precision used to identify it correctly in the first place. The Terra crocodile spent over a century being misunderstood. It is only now, in 2025 and 2026, being seen clearly for the first time. The dinosaurs most people picture all sharing one prehistoric world is a comforting story. It is not an accurate one. Deinosuchus ruled the water for nearly 10 million years before the first true T-Rex ever existed, hunting close relatives of the very predator that would later become the most famous animal in history. It was misclassified for over a century, reclassified in 2025, and only recently rebuilt, bone by bone, for the world to finally see. The Terra crocodile was real, the timeline was wrong, and the truth took 82 million years to surface. Hit the notification bell, because the family that produced T-Rex spent millions of years being hunted by something the history books never told you about. The Terra crocodile was real, and it ruled before T-Rex ever did. Subscribe to Vanished History. The timeline is never as simple as they tell you.